I'm Chris Durhett. I'm the lead quest designer on Warlords of Draenor. I've been working on the game for about 9 years.
Steve Burke, I'm senior quest designer.
First question, what can you tell us about Mists of Pandaria, world event leading to Warlords of Draenor?
Oh, that's a great question. So we do have some things planned. I don't know if we've released any information about it. There are a few events that are going to lead up to the intro. When you actually purchase Warlords of Draenor, is when they have the Dark Portal. Orcs are screaming through the Dark Portal. Big call goes out for all Azeroth's heroes. We've got, this is a huge crisis.
We're actually going to have some dungeon content available next year. The orcs, the red orcs coming to the Dark Portal actually go straight back to Blackrock Mountain and take it over again.
Right,
so give me some dungeon content before the expansion.
So make a big splash, big impact, and when the portal opens and they start pouring through, you, your friends, a few of our characters are going to go through there on kind of a suicide mission. It's really big. There's just tons of orcs. You get on the other side, sure, just thousands of orcs. You see of orcs ready to go through, and I guess you could think of it kind of like the Death Knight starting experience. Play through that. But this one is kind of, the tension's ratcheted up quite a bit. We've got about an hour's worth of gameplay that moves really fast, super high tension, and it gives us a chance to showcase each one of these guys, give you a little glimpse at the big threat, and become familiar with them a little bit, or re-familiar if you're an old Warcraft.
These are the original villains, or if you were playing the Horde, leaders from the Horde back to the original Orcs versus humans. So revisiting all those characters and the lore where Warcraft is.
Right. And so you're going to go through this first hour, real rapid fire, barely get away by the skin of your teeth. Along the way, you're going to thwart some of their program, their efforts there, and rescue some of the denizens or some of the inhabitants of Draenor. Draenor, orcs from the Frost Wolf clan, which Thrall's father, Veritan, is the war chief of that clan. So you're going to rescue some of them. He's the only one that's not a bad guy here. There's the big Iron Horde. The rest of these are kind of congealing into this big villainous force, and he and his clan are kind of fighting a losing battle when you get here. So you go through this intro experience right in the heart of the Iron Horde stronghold, right there at the party. Get a good glimpse of them, rescue these guys, and hightail it out of there. And from there, the Horde is going to go one way, the Alliance is going to go another. We've got starting zones unique for both Horde and Alliance that are just custom tailored for them. So the Alliance are going to get to know the Draenor a little bit, work with Prophet Velen, another big old character, and Akama and Ra and a couple of
You discovered that the Draenor home base is this thing called the Temple of Paramore, which we all know as the Black Temple. Right? So you get to see it in all its glory when it's pristine and the sort of central spiritual place for Draenor, and trying to rescue them and protect them.
So that's a good point. We tried with this expansion to make sure we have enough of those big nostalgic hits that are going to make those connections for you, but not feel like I've been here and done that. It's a whole new place. Level design, the artists have just done a fantastic job of putting it together. So the Horde is going to go up to Frostfire Ridge, and that's the home of the Frost Wolf clans. Duratan's going to be on the shores, meeting you with this boat coming up, and then you're going to let loose this stream of refugees is going to come ashore, and it's all of his brothers among them. Drekthar, some big members of his clan that you're reuniting with him. So he is super grateful, so grateful that he's going to actually give you a piece of his land, of his territory, that you as a player will call your own. And this is, for me at least, one of the most exciting features of the expansion. It's our garrison feature. So when you get this piece of land, you're going to be able to build buildings. You're going to choose. You're going to have more buildings than plots of land. So you're going to have to make some choices. Each one of these buildings is going to give some real tangible gameplay benefits to you as you go and quest through the expansion. So you're gonna choose carefully, then as you go through, you're going to level up the garrison. More plots are going to become available, but more buildings are going to become available too. So you're always going to be making those customizing choices. Also, as you're going through that content, you're going to run into a lot of NPCs. Whether they're quest givers, you finish a few quests with them, and they're grateful for you, and you'll be able to recruit them and send them back to your garrison. You rescue an orc from a horde of ogres, and he's so thankful he'll come work for you in your garrison. So gradually, as you quest through the expansion, you're going to be bringing these people back. We're going to keep looping you back into that garrison constantly. It's really integrated to all of the gameplay.
It's really your home base. There's no capital city in this expansion. Garrison is the only place that's not out to get you in this entire con.
Right? And so, as you go, as you keep coming back to your garrison, this story of you going through Draenor, you're going to go back to your garrison and see all these characters and remember, oh yeah, I did this and this and this, so it's kind of right there in front of you. And that the garrison's it's going to be a really vibrant kind of environment. These NPCs aren't just UI elements, or they're not just standing around looking at you. They're actually working in the environment, kind of like they've got wants and needs that they'll go out and pursue. So it kind of brings the place to life.
So if you're like a blacksmith, he'll wander around, he'll go get some more, he'll bring it back, get the materials he needs, walk around town,
go back to the
talk to his friends he goes by.
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
So and interactive town, right, that you're working with. And one of the things that's going to happen as you build up that town, so you're making decisions about which buildings to put there, which followers to recruit, and every player is going to have different choices on which building to take, and not enough room for every possible building you can have, not enough room for every follower you can have. So you have to make hard choices, and they're actually going to get attacked by the Iron Horde. You've been going out there poking these guys in the eye, and they don't like it. So periodically they're going to come in and attack your town. You're going to have to rally the forces there to defend the garrison from the attacks that are coming. You play side by side with the people you've recruited. You can bring in your real life friends to help you out if you need to. And fighting this kind of epic battle defending your garrison. So it's sort of the other piece of harking back to the original Warcraft Orcs versus Humans. You have all these villains from that game are there, but also the gameplay of I'm building my own base like an RTS, and I'm making the decisions about what my strategy is and how I'm going to play around the world.
Yeah, and it's going to come under attack more than once, several times, and it's going to get escalating in challenge. There's going to be rewarding events. But also with those followers, there's a little depth there, quite a bit of depth. So they're all going to have item slots. They're going to have a weapon and a suit of armor, each with high level, so you're going to constantly want to keep upgrading those guys, right? And one of the ways that you're going to do that is through missions. So just like you went out on quests and ran dungeons, as you were coming up, you get to call the shots here. It's like, okay, this is the mission. There's a big ogre with a cleave ability, and he's vulnerable to frost magic, for example. So you're going to want to pick and choose which among your followers are best suited to take on that challenge. And based on how well you match that challenge and their level, they're going to level up, and their item level, their gear, based on those things, the chances of getting bigger and bigger rewards from that mission will increase, and we show that right to you in the UI. So you'll be able to see exactly how your choices are impacting the chances of success on that mission.
And they get rewards for them, so armor weapons for them, but they can also get rewards for you. So sending these guys out on missions can help you become more powerful. Okay. So you're making lots and lots of decisions. How best to defend my town? Which guys do I want from the missions? I can have guys working on trade skills. The blacksmith's actually working there, discovering new recipes, making items for me. You can't do all of it. You have to make some decisions about what it is you want to do. And as you go through the actual questing zones, you'll be unlocking buildings. So for example, in one of the zones, you have to make a choice between, do I want to have a mage tower or do I want to have an armory? It's going to change the character of your town and what kind of forces they can rally. Later on, do I want to get a stables or do I want to get a workshop? I can have a cavalry that can send into battle, or I can have my own tank right in the background. And those are interesting choices that will affect gameplay all the way through, leveling up and at
Also, I mean, there's more customizability. Maybe we both chose a mage tower in each of our garrisons, but I put it in a different place than he did.
So different followers are working.
Right. So I go visit his garrison, and it doesn't look just like mine. There's a lot of different, his own personal.
And multiple levels to the mage tower, so that levels up and becomes powerful resources you can put into it.
Super excited about that.
Really excited.
Yeah.
So there's also the boost to 90.
Boost to 90 is huge. I guess probably one of our most important features in this expansion. If you think about World of Warcraft over the years, a lot of players have come and gone and left off characters in various stages. And when somebody, you talk to one of your friends, you get them to come back and play World of Warcraft, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm playing there. They're really excited about it. They log in, and maybe their favorite character was a Deathbiter. And the last play they left him off was they're level 78, somewhere in Northrend, maybe Grizzly Hills, and they're like, all right, I've got all this stuff in my bags are full, and I don't know what these things are, what to do with them, and all these quests in my quest line, I don't know what those are about. And my abilities, there's so many abilities, and I forget what they even do it. So they're just lost, and there's this huge barrier to entry there. The boost to 90 is all about getting rid of that barrier. We want you to go out, buy Warlords of Draenor, install it on your machine, and play tonight with your friends. That's the real goal of the feature. That's what we're shooting for. So to help make that possible, when you boost a character to level 90, we're going to take all of your old items, all of your inventory, all of your gear, and put it in your mailbox. You can go back and get it. It's an unlimited time mail, so you can go take care of it whenever you're brave enough to look at it again. Right. We're going to clear off your action bar completely, give you a whole new set of gear, clear off your quest log, and then on your action bar, we're going to give you just 3 or 4 abilities. Sort of a core rotation. How does this character class work? And so as you're playing through that intro experience that he was talking about at the Dark World, that 1-hour experience, that's where you're going to be playing with these characters with only 3 or 4 abilities in the bar. The creatures that you're fighting are designed around knowing that you only have 3 or 4 abilities, so it's not like you're going to be killed or you can't do it. But it gives you a chance to learn those abilities and figure out how they work. After you've done a few quests, maybe 10, 15 minutes in, you turn in one of your quests, and as a reward, you get 3 or 4 more buttons. Now your combat rotation is a little bit more complex. There's some situational abilities, maybe a proc or an ability has to be timed correctly. Do a few more quests, and now you get maybe polymorph or kick or a charge, some abilities that you move around or interrupt and your crowd control, things like that. And then some creatures. Let's say maybe there's a spellcaster, and you can interrupt him, or you can crowd control him, or when he casts a spell on you, if you're a healer, you can dispel him. So you have different ways of dealing with it, and we ask you to use those capabilities to sort of gradually teach you how to play the game again. This is what's so long. On-the-job training, exactly. A few more quests, and now we give you some AoE spells and some cooldowns, and we'll send you against waves of little guys coming at you, and you put your blizzard on them to take them out, or cooldowns that help you fight in a boss battle. So
Sorry, in this whole time, I could be playing next to him, and I never stopped playing. Nothing's taken away from me.
He was doing Siege of Orgrimmar yesterday, and now he's doing this with me. I don't have to wait before we get to play with each other. So his gear is amazing, but my gear is good enough to keep up. We can give you good items to proceed with. And after going through that zone, you're ready to go side by side with your friends, whoever they happen to be, and continue playing the expansion without having to wait for people to catch up and level and figure out all the gear and what all my buttons do. All that on-the-job training to make it possible. Related to that, we made some changes to how our raid saves work. So we've added another difficulty, which is mythic raids. And then in our normal and heroic raids, you will now be able to have a flexible size, meaning you can have any number of players, between 10 and 30 players in the raid. What that really means is, let's say you have about 15 people in that regular group of players, but 3 of them didn't show up tonight. Well, back when you're doing like 10-person raids, if 3 guys didn't show up, you had to cancel the raid, then you're not going to play. But now you say, oh, well, we'll go with 12, and it'll work just fine. Or maybe somebody's brother wants to come and join you, and is thinking about maybe joining your guild. Sure, come along, no problem. Or somebody has to leave early. That's okay. Or come late. That's okay. So you can play with any flexibility of playing. In normal and heroic raids, you'll also be able to play cross servers. So you can invite your friends from other servers to come play with you. It doesn't matter if they transferred off 3 years ago and you're just playing with them. You can have them back anytime. And there are 3 different raid blocks. So the guy who's a hardcore mythic raider can go and do normal mode with his friends, and it doesn't mess up his ability to do his progression raid with his guild. So as much as possible, what we're shooting for is you get to play with your friends and moving those barriers to entry.
Right. So we're also optimizing a few other things in the level up experience as you're questing. Well, one of the things that we're all really sensitive about is bag space. And it's been a problem for quite a while, and we've talked about some different solutions. And what we're doing with this expansion is, well, for Mists of Pandaria, our quest team rewarded you often with just some kind of gimmicky toys, right?
Comfortable marmot, or a thing that transforms you to look like a different creature. Yeah.
So you get a lot of these things that are kind of cool, neat, nifty gadgets, but they take up an inventory slot. Before long, you just got all this bloat there. So what we're doing, we like the idea to kind of reward you with some kind of playful things.
You can't destroy them because they came from a quest. If you destroy them, you'll never get it again. So you have to keep them.
Right. Yeah. So we're offloading those onto its own tab or a toy box kind of thing, where similar to mounts and pets.
Okay. So you can cast all that stuff from the UI instead of having this thing in your inventory. And so for my case, that's going to free up like 50 inventory slots.
Right. In addition to that, quest specific, as you're going out and collecting your furs and teeth or whatever it is you're being asked to round up in your level up experience or max level or wherever, those items no longer go in your inventory. They still get tracked just like they always would, but you don't have that icon taking up the bag slot. So hopefully that's going to free things up quite a bit for us. Another change in the level up game is back in 2004, when WoW first came out. I remember kind of rolling through the game and everything was new and wanted to look under every nook and cranny and see what kind of secrets were there, right? And recently, we kind of look back at some of our more recent content, and it's a little bit more. We've done a lot more in terms of storytelling and put in kind of quest lines, chains of quests, and you kind of might feel like you're on rails a little bit sometimes. So while we still want to keep those real epic stories in the zones, we're also going to reward you if you want to play like that back in the old days. Just look under every little corner, explore the back of every little micro. There are going to be those one-time rewards that we played with a little bit in Pandaria, where you can go and
discover an item on the ground you interact with, which is a cool treasure.
Okay.
No competition. I get my own, he gets his own, but reward you for wandering around and looking around.
With the new types of bonus objectives, as you wander into an area, you may uncover a bonus objective there that gives you rewards. Kind of like a very, very lightweight quest, without all the story packaging, but still the elements of exploring the world and seeing every nook and cranny. So in the past, we would put quests through all different areas, and that kind of led everybody by the nose through every little area. We want people to feel like they're exploring the world. And so people who don't want to do all the storyline quests, don't want to do so many quests, can do the core storyline quest, get to level 100 as fast as they can. But people who like to explore the world can go into all these little nooks and crannies and feel like we didn't lead them there. They discovered it themselves. They engaged in exploration to find it. So a new emphasis on exploration gameplay.
So it's more like an open / like loose storyline where you don't have to like follow the main one, but you can like go off beat track.
There is a mainline story. You want to do that, but there's a lot of little side things you can explore or just skip. You don't have to go through it.
So that brings up a good point. There might be a main story. There might be 3 or 4 big storylines that make up a zone. And then there still might be the side quests that we're used to. And one of the things that we've done now is in your quest log, with the UI, we're actually breaking that up to where you can really see this is a chapter quest line. This is one that is one of the big
story.
Bells and whistles, and you can expect all kinds of things like the Jade Forest big cinematic at the end of that quest line. We're doing those a lot more now. At the end of some quest lines, we're doing scenarios just as a big capper. We feel like that's a good place for that tech to work. Hopefully what that does is it kind of helps telegraph to the player a little bit more, hey, this is one of those quests that you really want to pay attention to and follow the story and pay attention to the characters. And this one's kind of not quite as upfront in your face. And then those bonus objective areas, we have icons on the map that just kind of call out as you unveil the map. Yeah, there's stuff to do over here, but you don't have to go click on a die and get a big pane of text to go there. So make it a little bit more lightweight and help you make decisions.
As part of that exploration gameplay, we have a new PvP area, right, at the end called an island called Ashran. And what it really is trying to be is like the timeless island of PvP. It's sort of this big open playground of space to explore and see what's going on. Not unlike the old Ultrac Valley matches from the old days that go for 3 or 4 or 5 days long. There's all these different areas to fight over at the same time. Maybe there's a fortress, the Alliance of Order fighting, and your forces take over the fortress, defeat the enemy, and you get a temporary bonus fighting in the zone to make your side fight better. But that wasn't the end of the battle. Now there's this other area over here you're fighting over things. Or there's various objectives to go and collect resources to help with the fight, where it's you're going to get more resources if you fight near the enemy side, and less resources fighting near your side. If you're trying to collect that to help your side. If somebody kills you, they can take your stuff and use it to turn in for their quest, and that kind of stuff. So it's a really exploration, free-form PvP area that fits that world PvP niche and the exploration niche that people have.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much for your time. Nice to meet you again.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.